Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, dogs, and cats, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to do a little commentary or reaction or whatever you want to call it to the Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord E3 Siege gameplay. Holy shit is basically the extent of it. It has answered quite a few questions of mine about the game. Like numbers, just the siege in general. We got a little bit of glimpse of the siege in the first trailers that they released. The ones with there's the guy dragging the catapult, and this is a smaller scale, but we see more troops at the same time, so it's like smaller and bigger as well. First of all, I just wanted to say that I've never been more hyped for a game. Well, I've been this hyped for a game before, and that was Fallout 4, and Fallout 4 was great. I mean, the story is kind of shit, but the game is amazing. I have not been as hyped for a game as I am now since Fallout 4, and I think I am more hyped for this game than I was for Fallout 4 back in the day, which wasn't even actually that long ago. I don't know why I said back in the day. But the trailer opens up with the character in front or behind a big line of troops, which actually is not a very large line of troops. It's probably, I want to guess, maybe around 50, 40 maybe. And you get these, you get a look on the castle, and the castle looks beautiful. There's all this smoke on the grass. There's these trees on the sides. The castle itself, just if you just look at how the flags wave, it looks so nice. Like just the way that the wind is blowing the flags and the colors, the red and black checkered. Oh, it looks so good. The shaders with the smoke and everything. Then we get this big circular tower in the middle of the castle with the big walls. This castle here is already bigger than any of the castles that were in Warband, and this is going to be considered a small or medium-sized castle, I'm pretty sure. So opens up, he kind of flies up above, and he's choosing which siege weapons to use in each spot. Now this is amazing. Looks like we have all sorts of siege weapons. We have catapults, siege towers, and even like rams to ram down doors. It's so good. And then all of a sudden it opens up to this huge army of dudes that's just standing there when he starts the game. And it looks like there's 5 rows of like 20 or something. And I believe that the dev said that it's about 300 or 350 versus like 50 or 100 or something like that. So it's around there. So already this is beyond the limit that it was in Bannerlord, or in Warband, which was 150 on the ground total between each two sides. Then in custom battles you could have 200 v 200. And then there was the one weird exception in Napoleonic Wars where you could have like 400 v 400, but the game will just like flip the fuck out and would not work. Here we already have 350 on one side, and then versus how many others else there is on the other team, which is crazy. They may have gotten rid of the part of the game in Warband where if you lose enough troops, like more will spawn because it needs to keep the engine from not exploding and keep the numbers low. I think they got it so where you can just pour your max amount of troops onto the table all at once, and the game won't flip out. It looks a lot like Total War, which is really cool. This game is basically going to be like Total War, except you're on the ground with your troops. But it also has like all those other amazing Mount & Blade aspects that we loved. Now we see him on his horse. Instantly we see a giant chunk of the castle get blown off. So this shows that the castles are destructible. I'm not sure if it's the whole thing is destructible, but at least the tops of the towers are. Also, this makes me wonder that like when you take the castle, depending on how damaged the castle is, if it makes it less defendable, or maybe like if you take the castle then it automatically repairs, or if you have to spend time repairing the castle, spend money and energy into doing that could be a possibility in the future. So each of these siege weapons are mannable by the player, not just the NPCs. So we see him running up, getting onto this catapult, loading it, aiming it, and then blowing a piece off of the castle. This is amazing. Also, we see a friendly ballista shoot a guy on an enemy ballista off the top of the tower, and I just thought that that was really good too. I just wanted to point out also, what banner do we see on these guys' shields? It appears to be a yellow bird with blue and gray sort of circular stripes coming off of it. At first glance, I would think that this is probably a Nordic banner, due to just how similar it is to King Ragnar's banner in Mountain Blade Warband. But a lot of these guys don't look Nordic. They look, I don't know, they look probably Valandian, and almost like Swadian and Rodok to me, due to their helmets and stuff. But a lot of these guys do also look Nordic, so I'm thinking that this is like a Sturgian / Valandian military operation that's going on here. That's my guess. Also, what armor is he wearing? He looks to be wearing like somewhat Eastern looking armor. The bow is a long bow, but it's curved. And he's using a great sword. I think he also either has spears in his back or just arrows. I think those are just arrows. So he appears to be wearing like possibly Eastern armor, so possibly Kazite armor. Possibly, maybe. That's just a guess. The archery in this game looks very, very much Mountain Blade. Exact same cursor, exact same just way you shoot. It's going to be really good. Now, what's the enemy banner we see? It's black, red, and it has a yellow torch in the middle. Black and red, I would guess that might be Valandian. So this is possibly a Nordic-led siege into Valandia. This castle doesn't look Eastern at all. It looks very European. So it's very possible that this could be on the western side of the map, coming down like through maybe even Britannia into northwestern Valandia. Now, the bodies falling from the walls is great too. That's just a big aspect from Mountain Blade that we all know. Now, flipping these ladders up onto the walls is, I mean, obviously pretty unrealistic, but it looks so cool. Oh, and that explosion that off of the wall with the rubble falling off, it looks really good. Having the one ladder during the sieges in Warband was actually cancer. And you would just stand there for like 15 minutes as your men try to get up there and just die until finally they get enough leverage to get in there, and then you accidentally like fall off a wall and kill yourself, and you have to do it all over again. It was just a really painful experience. This looks like it's definitely fixing it. We got a siege into the front door, which wouldn't even have front doors in Warband. A siege tower boarding the top of one flank of the castle, and we have men loading ladders on the other flank. So you have all three different ways to enter the castle all at once. This is really good. The men climbing the ladder to get into the castle really remind me of the orcs climbing the ladders in Lord of the Rings. Now, what we just saw there was a battering ram battering down the front door to the castle. Then we enter the siege room, or whatever room this would be called. This room is too small for the battering ram to enter, so the men have to go in instead and start smashing down the secondary wall. This is just another means of defense against sieges. Also, now we have dudes up on the top throwing down rocks and explosive materials. This is a really good aspect of the game as well. Okay, with that, I really love how I believe he shot and killed the guy that dropped the exploding barrel, and he killed him before he even dropped the exploding, or it was an exploding pot. I like how even though he killed him, he still dropped it. Like, it didn't just disappear. He still dropped the exploding pot. It still dropped, killed some dudes, or hit them at least, and burned them severely. And then later you see his body fall down after he got shot. It's really good. And you look back and you see all the rest of these dudes and their blue and yellow shields. Now we start to see the siege tower approaching slowly, actually being pushed by dudes, not like just a bunch of guys standing around it and it moving magically. The guys are actually pushing the wheels. And it has two ladders on it, which you got to climb. So it's not just one big ramp. Again, was very annoying in Warband. Then we get to the top where it looks like there is a drawbridge on the top of the siege tower, and you can manually open it when you're ready. We see some cool fighting gameplay here. Still looks very much Warband, very much Bannerlord. I'm very excited. Now, if you look at these guys, you can definitely recognize some of their armors from Warband. I could definitely pick out like low tier Valandian. I guess that would be ancient Rodok or early Rodok and early Swadian dudes. You can also see Nordic helmets, Eastern helmets. That made me actually say "holy shit" out loud when he kicked him off the wall, because keeping the kick ability in Bannerlord is really good. I don't want to have to live with a Bannerlord that doesn't have the kick ability. The blood on your body looks way better than it did in Warband, especially. In Warband, you would just slowly start turning red and very glowy and shimmery. And this actually looks like you're covered in blood. Like he's got a big smear on his helmet. His sword is all drippy, and it's like, it looks very much more realistic than it did in Warband. Now, just to be clear, he's not actually using health potions. He's just a dev trying to show off the game and not trying to die during the siege to mess up the gameplay. So he's just healing himself. The greatsword is very powerful. He keeps just one-hitting these guys as they're coming down the stairs. Now, as we see him enter into the courtyard, what really caught my eye about this part was how the enemy defenders were regrouping and entering the final keep of the castle to try to defend. This is a really good mechanic. This is a really good mechanic because it shows that the AI have come a long way. Instead of just running out randomly, doing whatever they want, they're kind of acting defensively. They're acting strategically, and they're going to go defend their keep. We see another guy get thrown off a wall, very much Bannerlord. Now, obviously, these guys kind of get stuck in the doorway there, and the dev does not want to show that off, so he kind of walks away from that. But obviously this is an early version of the game, and things are going to be fixed. Just the detail inside the castle looks so good. The wooden textures, the stone, and it's got like some moss textures. The windows, they look so good. The dead bodies on the ground. Now he enters the room again where they were dropping the stones and explosive barrels onto the attackers, and there's all these dudes standing around cheering. Just brings back the good old feeling of Mount & Blade Warband when you take his castle. Finally, after like a half an hour of just all these waiting and going up ladders and stuff, they're cheering, they're putting their axes up in the air. This gameplay was fantastic. Seeing all the bodies on the wall, I hope that they do this for this game. What I personally really like about a game like Total War is that on the battlefield, the bodies don't disappear. They just stay there, and so you can see kind of where all the conflicts happened, because you can see where all the dead bodies are. You can see all the damage that happened, how the landscape changed. You can see everything, and that really will make this game better for me if the bodies don't despawn. Now, I understand that was a problem for Warband because it wasn't big enough and it wasn't strong enough to handle all the bodies on the ground and all the people running around and all the textures to load. But I assume that this game is going to be a lot better. The engine can handle way more. So hopefully the bodies won't have to despawn. This gameplay was amazing, and I am so excited for this game. Every day I've just been searching Bannerlord gameplay to see if something comes up, and then I left for the weekend and I came back, and all of a sudden there's been 2 days of this siege footage out and I didn't even know, and I'm so jealous that 200,000 people saw it before me. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked my review of this gameplay, please leave a like in support, and possibly subscribe if you want to hear more about this game as it comes out. I do fan theories and other videos regarding Mount & Blade, and just other fun stuff too. We stream every Friday. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.